Well, hey guys, welcome to Bowhunting Soul. Okay, so I got something for you today. So last video, probably the last video that I put out was my setup that I'm going to be using this year. My primary setup, the ASL, the Mushin stick, right? St. Patrick Lake. Still plan on doing that, but then I really hadn't decided on a backup bow for this year, and you know, I've still been having some tuning issues still after a couple of years with the Pacific stick, right? The other ASL that I have, probably because it's lighter poundage and it's a little finickier on you know, if I don't do everything perfectly on that thing, right? It likes a really weak spine. It's just, you know, and if I add enough tip weight to it, it ends up being way too heavy, that kind of thing. But going back to this wood arrow thing, so here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be my backup bow. I've kind of decided, okay? And this, obviously, this is the Elkhart, right? Java Man Elkhart. You guys have seen this before. Love this bow. Shot a couple animals with this, the big game animals anyway, at least with this one. Bunch of small game. I have confidence in it, but I needed to tweak the arrow setup on this one too. The arrow setup that I had before on this one was about a 633 grain arrow, but it was still a little stiff. It was a 500 spine. It's about 29-ish kind of inches, and I had 263 grain tip, basically, right, with a broadhead. And it was still slightly stiff. Now, with the arrows that I have at home, I got to tuning around and all that stuff. Plus, I had ordered some Ace Super Express broadheads. These Mama Jammas are big. So watch this. So now what I got is I've got two options for this bow that has more tip weight and they fly beautiful. And that is this honkin' broadhead. This is, I mean, it's almost 1.5 inches. It's 1 7/16. If you can see that. This is the Ace Super Express. This is, I've been obviously shooting it into the dirt, into berms, right? That's how I stump shoot and practice and see how they fly. So I've got two options now. One is this. This is the arrow that I was just telling you about. Normally this would have an Ace Standard on here, which again comes in at 260 something grains. This all up would weigh 633 grains. That's what it was weighing before. Now with an extra 50 grains, because this is a 200 grain plus 100 grain adapter, it actually comes in at like 310 total, right, all up. So say 660 something plus another 50. So we're at like a 710 grain arrow at this point. Very, very heavy, right? Now you're going to say that's just stupid out of a 43. Basically, I'll be pulling 43 pounds out of this bow. That's fine. It gives me an 18-yard point on. It's quiet. This is not the quietest bow. The Elkhart is not the quietest bow. By far, it's not the quietest bow. But it shoots beautiful with this. So I've got this as an option. Got a ton of tip weight. FOC, I didn't even calculate, but I mean, who knows? It's, you know, it's a lot, right? It's got to be somewhere in the 28% range, somewhere around there, okay? Not that I'm chasing it, but whatever. That is a huge, huge hole to cut. That's option number one. Option number two, woodies. That's right. This is just a little bit longer than the carbon one, but also it is a Ace Super Express 200 grain. This is glued on, obviously, right? This is glued on, spins beautiful, flies beautiful, and I've been spending the morning here shooting this bow. Shooting both of these arrows, trying to get a finalized tune out of this thing, right? So both of these arrows, point on for them, they're about the same. They're about like 18 yards point on or something like that, because they're so heavy. I don't know how heavy this is, but it's got to be pretty close to what the carbon arrow is. It's, you know, it's probably going to be north of like 650, 680, something like that. Very heavy. This is a 57 spine, something like that. This is what they come in. These are the ones I've had for like a couple of years now. They kind of go from, I try them on different bows here and there, but I never really had tried 190 grain broadheads or tips really until recently. So then I got the 190s and I got these obviously, which are the 200s on there. So yeah, these are going to be, I haven't decided if I'm going to go all woodies on them or if I'm going to go all carbons on them. I've got, I've been shooting, you know, I've got 3 field points here and then two broadheads. But that's kind of what I've been doing this morning. And this is going to be the backup bow. It is flying beautiful. It's flying, I can hit, basically it's point on. Anywhere from here to, you know, 18 yards, which is probably about the absolute max that I would ever consider like consciously shooting anyway. Point on, put the tip on. I don't have to hold low. I don't have to do anything, and just expand, and then go. You know, like I said, with this, with the Elkhart, you know, I'm still having to expand and have really good form. This is not the most forgiving bow in my hands. It's not. It's just not. But I do have to, you know, expand, and I'm trying to get as much energy as I can out of this thing. But I also want a little bit of forgiveness. And if it's a little bit weak, that's okay. So it all depends on my pluck, my release, whatever. So these bows, you know, especially long bows that don't have a lot of shelf in there, they're pretty finicky with how you shoot them, right? If you pluck a certain way, if you torque a certain way, if you twist a certain way, if you don't come to full draw a certain way, whatever it is, however it is that you shoot, that's just it's just going to be. So anyway, that's it. This is going to be my backup setup, and I hope I don't change my mind the first day in the stand and actually go to this one, because it is shooting so good, and it is a freight train, and it's going to cut a massive hole. You know, like I said, it's an inch and 7/16. Inch and 7/16 broadhead. That's a biggie. That is a biggie. So, all right, that's it. Just a little short video here. I know seasons are underway. Hope you guys are having luck out there. I know guys have already been putting some stuff down, and my trip, well, I'll be on my trip by the time this publishes, but mine starts tomorrow. I'm heading down to North Carolina, and gonna do a few days hunting down there in the mountains. And I don't know, maybe this will be in my hand, the ASL will be in my hand. It's just going to be a good time. So, all right, guys, be safe out there. Have a great season. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.